Hello, my name is Hubert de Malherbe. I'm sorry I couldn't make it because I broke my fibula. And the problem is I still need my crutches to walk around and it's a bit complicated for me to come and see you. But in a way I'm with you. Today is Tuesday the 21st and today for you is Wednesday the 22nd. So, well, in a way it's only 5% difference. So it's all right. Actually, if I'm talking about this, walking is that it's not that important actually, because we used to walk and walking for us was only, walking with your feet. The problem is today is that your clients, they do walk a lot with their fingers all the time, all the day. For example, on WeChat, it's 2.5 hours a day average using for Chinese people, the people you call mainlanders. And they get connected average 25 times a day, which is enormous. So in a way, I can still, as you can see, walk a lot, do my work, talk to you, and all this. So what if we were more authentic or totally authentic? I think, in a way, we need to forget about telling stories. We need to be much, much more authentic, and this is the key for tomorrow. What if we were authentic? And what if we were also much younger in the way we present ourselves? The problem is, we live in a world that is changing so quickly nowadays. Just for your information, it took us people, 5 million years to have the idea of, instead of cutting, the silex, the stone on one side, to cut it better, the idea was to cut it on both sides. 5 million years. I can tell you, I take 3 or 4 of you, I put them in a meeting room, and there's a subject to say, how can we improve our tools? And I can tell you after 2 or 3 meetings, one of you will say, well, let's cut it on both sides. 5 million years. Then now, how long did it take us to know and to understand how to use an iPad? A couple of minutes, maybe. And the problem is, the people that rule the world are sometimes in between 40, 50, 60 years old, even more. And these people, the problem is they build their own thoughts and convictions and things on things that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. But the problem is today, things change every minute, and maybe tomorrow it will change every second. And this is the authenticity I'm talking about in the way you need to present your brands. It's not a movie that you create, you invent, and that you play one day because you want to reorganize your positioning and all this, and it lasts for 6 months or a year. It's a question of minute and hour. And the expression today is something that has to be extremely talkative, authentic, and talking about things that are really happening, not stories, the famous storytelling, which is really terrible. Because, this new world we live in, the new people, the people that are starving not of eating things, but starving of discovering things and understanding the world and being able to climb up the social ladders. I'm talking about China, but a lot of people in Southeast of Asia or Eastern Europe or Southern America, these new people are starving for new things, and these things have to be authentic. So, let's talk about this fast-moving world we live in. Everybody talks about Uberization, and if we talk about retail, Uberization is moving from the last 10 years and 15 years where we've had a very aesthetical retail. Things had to be very nice, just like in our homes, It's nice. I mean, I live in a place which is nice. I shop in a place which is nice, well decorated, rich, But this will change. We are going to move into an experiential retail. It's a place where I live something because I want to live things. I want to live authentic things. And the problem is, that we need to run away from this idea of marketing that is bringing, some kind of, something heavy about hard selling, being very opportunistic, and actually forgetting that now the retail, the pure retail with the shelving, and you get into a place where you found the products is done. Also because tomorrow, with the algorithm on internet, the products will come to you as today, and for the last couple of 3,000 or 4,000 years, it's always you that was going to the product. But understanding you and your needs and the trends, tomorrow morning, these algorithms are going to be able to tell you what you want. So the best thing is not to tell lies, and in a way, inventing story is telling lies. And I think there's a big difference in between innovation, new things that come out like this, and real creation. And the brands that have been existing for quite a while, the strong brands that makes the business, have an enormous amount of treasures, in a way, hidden somewhere. Because we always want to do new things and to show new images, as we have a lot to talk. And I'm telling you this, I live in a very traditional place, as you can see. We're right in the middle of Paris, in the 8th district. But still, it's my place, and it's the place where I was brought up, and I love this place. And when I talk about experiential design, I'm talking about services, but real steady services, like the one in Japan. And we know that Japan is really now moving up in terms of retail. I'm talking about wrapping, but real wrapping, something spectacular. And this is also very Japanese in a way. And I'm talking, maybe I should have begun with this. I'm talking about personalization. Something that really says, I was there, something that really says, I'm giving you something in my way, it's personal. I know this thing is maybe a bit industrial, but the final touch I bring to this present makes a huge difference. Just like this sofa, you see? You can see this? It's blown. And I can guess this sofa is not a sofa of my parents. And actually, I tell you what, I don't want to shop like my mother or my parents. This is absolutely crucial. And actually, also, with the internet, people mix a bit e-commerce, internet, and this huge activity that everybody is having every single day, a couple of hours a day. What is fantastic is it's a huge opportunity for luxury brands and all brands in general to express their sensibility, their weaknesses. If you want to come closer to somebody, you can talk about yourself, your weaknesses, so it brings you closer to people. Instead of making distance with, enormous cars like look like weapons, or, fantastic houses, or, very spectacular things that forget to have nice people living in something really strong. So we have this opportunity of not hiding anything, being real, like we are with friends. I could be one of your friends, very close friends. I could be one of your brothers. I could be your father. So people are very nice. And I would say that we live in a world that is really fantastic. Okay, we do have the bombings in here. A lot of people around, maybe 100%, have lost somebody, especially in our creative world, after at the Bataclan. But actually, still, the rest of it is, and which is a world comparing to a dust, is really very fantastic and positive. And I think that these wills of these new people and the evolution of retail is anything but logical and positive. Let's tell nice things people will buy. I can tell you, around the corner here, it's maybe half a mile away, on the Champs-Élysées, 50% of the people say they go there just for a walk. Only 25% really buy something. We're on the Champs-Élysées, where the business is crazy, even with the bombings. And I think this is really nice. When I was young, my grandmother used to say, people are nice because they're different. And you know, this lady, she lived during the wars. Terrible. Awful times. We're very lucky. We need to know this. Because if we think too much about our pride, about our heritage, and the way we do things without changing, then at a certain time, we could consider that this world is not as nice as we thought. But actually it is. It is fantastic, and the potential of Hong Kong is anything about this. How can we be more authentic? When you go to Hong Kong, what do you see? You see a lot of marble, you see huge spaces, you see a lot of metal in decoration, and you're not fascinated in a way. We know that retail's been quite easy money. It's done well. But if we can improve something, we can just improve the relationship, we can improve the experience, and something. Let me tell you, tonight, so Tuesday, I'm going like every 2 weeks to the Palais de Chaillot with my sister here who is filming. The whole family goes there and we go and see some dance. It's extremely modern, it's super cool. But also, once a week I also go to a concert because I love electro. But this is me. Just to say that Paris is a city in the world where you have the most incredible nightlife in terms of theater, dance, concert, any kind of music. And this is extremely interesting, and this is Paris. And even if people criticize the fact that we do not change our architecture, I can tell you inside the thing, things are moving like crazy. And it's really nice. It's my place, you know. And then you know that people are not very well treated in here. Sometimes Parisian people, French people are aggressive. We know this, but actually in a way, we have this same kind of aggressive way of doing things sometimes in between Hong Kong and China mainland and all this. Doesn't matter, just improve. As people say, just do it. I remember a while ago, this guy called Tong Chi-Hua, the chief executive of Hong Kong. He had this idea. It was something like Hong Kong, the world, the city of the world, or something like this. It was very, very interesting. Nothing happened. But I'm not sure it's really the city that has to do this thing. Maybe it's just this international luxury brand that could build the thing in a real proper way. And this is really consistent. Just do something. Explain who you are. Cool.
C'est pas simple, 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 c'est pas simple.
So, you may ask, what is this experiential retail? I give you an example which is not really far away. We are constructing 100,000 square meters of offices not far from here. What happens in these offices? For example, I mean, it's totally new. It's much more where you live your own professional life rather than offices. There's some green, it's fantastic, and actually there are some details, very interesting. For example, the lifts, they're really huge, and actually they're meeting rooms or even cafeteria. So you arrive with your car, and then the first thing you see is not the awful, you know, the elevators that opens like this, and then you are against people and you do this and that. As they're friends, that they work in the same company. Actually, you arrive in a big thing that moves up and down. You have coffee, things, people in the morning, and you know, people that are having a chat and things. This is quite new. Take some risks. For example, we are renovating a huge mall in China, actually in Shanghai, and in this mall, we're going to have a mix of incredible things like a place where you can surf on a quite elevated floor. You can surf with real water, with surfboards, you know. Actually, I broke my leg kite surfing, so it's a good positive thing for young people, if you know what I mean. And actually, if you ask, for example, my father, he will say to you, "Oh, that's incredible. Don't tell me you can surf, real surf with waves." In China, in a mall, right in the middle of Shanghai. So, having said this, take risks. And actually, the risk is in your mind. The risk is in the B2B land, I would say, not with the final clients. They're never surprised, just like children, never ever surprised. So you can do whatever you want. You could be crazy, natural, and this will save you. When you tell the truth about you, you always win. Now I suggest that we talk about chaos. For example, the chaos of my books. I spend a lot of time in my books, as you can see. A lot of inspiration, and sometimes, a jewelry. The drawing of a jewelry can inspire you a store, a video, whatever. It comes like this. There's no reason why you choose this and that. It's just like a mood or something you find and you, at this time, you like. And this, what is fantastic about books, the way you read it one day and the way you read it a year later is totally different because your mind has changed so much. And the things you couldn't see, now you like this, you like them. Case. Let me introduce you and present you 2 projects that were rejected by clients. The first one is a store, actually not really a store, that was designed like an application. Physically, exactly this. It's one syllable name, actually in German gut, means good. And actually this is not a store precisely. It's conducted, it's done, it's realized and designed like an application. So I show you images, it's a floor plan, and you have these little desks and things that are connected with short-range beacons. And actually you can get push information about the legacy and the history of the products, about some recipes you can use. It's the fish, it's the meat, it's the organic products. It's incredible. There's no signage at all. It's all done by this. And actually, if I want to design the store, it's this. This is the store. I mean, the store you have every day with you. But it was a world of buts. But, do people really understand how do beacons work? It's not the question of technology, it's the ambition of the project. If you present it and say, well, this is the way it does work, and you need to cope with it, things will work. So technology and internet is not a question of, what is possible, is anything about creation. Nothing has changed. Even my father, I was mentioning before, has been obliged by our government to do his, tax things on internet. He was a bit scared about it, but he managed it, Everything is possible. Wonderful world. So this is the first rejected project. The second rejected project was to say, this is a window. We want the store to be like a window. And actually, we don't want the walls anymore. We want to see through the walls and see the story of the brand. Actually, it's a luxury brand. It's apparel, whatever. The walls and the ceiling, they're just like a big screen where you can have so much fantastic content. The only point is, once the screen is huge, just like real life, it's very quiet. It's not shouting like, traditional advertising that has to really be very excited so that it gets people's attention. It's nothing to do with this. I think that when screens are huge, and now we're in a world where screens can be really huge, they have to be peaceful and quiet. Actually, how life is. You go, even in Paris, you see, through the window, you see the streets, you have the cars moving, okay. But actually, the buildings, they stay where they are. The people, they walk slowly, especially like me. And this is it. And you go in the countryside, you see the clouds moving, and you see even the trees moving a bit. It's a quiet life we live in. So if we want to be authentic again, then the video we do now are not the videos we had when we were young with our parents with a little screen like this. I give you a very practical example, which is very recent, some news. We opened last week a new boutique at the IAC in Hong Kong for accessorize. And this boutique is quite nice and actually has a big video on the top of the products. It's very dense, but still, we have a real image, a real screen that is maybe 10, 15 meters long and really brings the perception of this brand into something which is nothing to do with what it is today. Not far away on the other side of the bay, we have the faces, this floor that we did in TST. And again, then the inspiration was to do something really dedicated to young people. And actually the design is very simple. It's just, like stripes and lines underlining the brands with a gray floor and a gray environment. I mean, something extremely simple. It looks cool, authentic for young people. Let's have some news. Good news, recent news. This morning, the Paris mayor just explained that they were redesigning the Champs-Élysées with new activities, with new retail, but taking away, the car dealers and bringing the huge place into the scale of people. The creation of a circulation for bicycle in the middle of the Champs-Élysées, yes, I'm telling you this. And also, and certainly, something which is very affordable is a lot of animation. Just like in a short-term time, there will be a race of drones, the first race of drones all over the world. It's cool. Personally, I hate the Champs-Élysées because I think it's not a nice place in Paris, but maybe things will change. Let's have an idea. What if we could disassemble the Eiffel Tower? I'm very serious. For 2 years. Because, it's all mechanic things with rivets and things. We can undo the thing and rebuild it, for example, in Hong Kong, somewhere in Central, or, whatever, Kowloon, I don't mind, or in the new territories. For 2 years. Maybe it's very expensive, and you may have a million people saying, "Whoa, it's awful, it's impossible because of this and that." I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And at the same place in Paris, it could be really incredible. We could build something else, like an animal or a statue of myself. Think of this, a statue of myself. And then one day, the Eiffel Tower will come back, and we'll be so pleased. That will be just like after the Second World War, a fantastic, huge, immense, at the scale of the city, a ballroom, a nice ballroom, where we can dance. We can dance. And kiss whoever we want. Anyway, I do kiss you, and it was a very nice time preparing this speech.